Welcome to primes and prime factors, understanding why prime factors and prime numbers are what they are. The foundations of GCSE math. Okay, let's start again. Welcome to primes and prime factors, understanding why prime numbers and prime factors are what they are, all part of the foundations of GCSE math course with Cubitt Education Private Tutoring. So, what is a prime number? Now, you might have heard that a prime number is a number that can only be divided by 1 in itself. Now, to me, blah, 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 that just sounds like, what does that even mean? Okay, so that is true, but let's look at it in a little bit more detail. It can be difficult to remember, and I know that my students do struggle with finding prime numbers and remembering what they are. So let's see why they're called primes. So, first of all, let me get this out of the way and say that 1 is not a prime number, so let's just forget about it. Forget number 1, that is not a prime. Although it doesn't have many factors, it only has itself, and people could say, well, that is 1 in itself. It's not a prime. Let's just leave it alone and leave it at that for now, okay? So, is 2 a prime number? Now let's think, what numbers go into or inside 2? Well, as 2 is a small number, only 1 and 2 go inside it. Basically, 2 times 1 makes 2. So both 2 and 1 equal 2. Go inside 2, are factors of 2. 2 divided by 1 is 2, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's all we can do with it. We can't do anything else with the number 2. It's not like the number 80, where lots of different numbers will go into that. Okay, 2 only has those 2 factors, 2 and 1. So 2 is a prime number because only those 2 factors go inside. What is a prime number? So is 3 a prime number? What numbers go inside 3? Can we divide 3 by any numbers? 3 divided by 1 is 3, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. No other numbers can go into 3. 3 can't be divided by 5 or, well, it can, but not to be given a whole number. We want a whole number answer as we did with factors and things like that. Only the numbers 1 and 3 go inside 3, so 3 is a prime number. Is 4 a prime number? What numbers go inside 4? Can we divide 4 by any numbers? 4 divided by 1 is 4, and 4 divided by 4 is 1, which is fine, but also we can divide it by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the number 4 has 3 numbers that go inside it. It has 1, 2 and 4. The other numbers only had 1 and itself, such as 1 and 3 for example, and 1 and 2. So that means that 4 is not a prime number. Okay, we can only have these 2 sections here for it to be a prime. We can't have another one. Is 5 a prime number? So what numbers go inside 5? Can we divide 5 by any numbers? 5 divided by 1 is 5, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. No other numbers can go inside 5, so 5 is a prime number. Is 6 a prime number? What numbers go inside 6? Well, as usual, 6 divided by 1 is 6, and 6 divided by 6 is 1. That's nice, however, it can also be divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And that means it can also be divided by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So the number 6 has 4 numbers that go inside it. It has 1, 2, and then 3 and 6. The other numbers only had 1 in itself, as mentioned earlier, so we know that 6 is not a prime number. It has too many factors. It has 4. Is 7 a prime number? What numbers go inside 7? 7 divided by 1 is 7, and 7 divided by 7 is 1. No other numbers go into 7. Only the numbers 1 and 7. So we can't divide 7 by anything else, so 7 is a prime number. Okay, I know this is getting a bit tedious. We're just going to have a look at one more. Is 8 a prime number? What numbers go inside 8? So just to reiterate, 8 divided by 1 is 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. But we all know that 2 can also go inside 8. 8 can be divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And because we have the answer 4, it means that 4 also goes into 8. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 8 actually has 4 factors, 1, 2, 4 and 8. So 8 is not a prime number. I hope we're getting the concept of primes. So it only has 2 factors, 1 and itself. So what I'd like you to do now is to pause the video and write down the numbers from 1 to 20. Now circle all of the prime numbers in the list and press play for the answer. Okay, so here are the numbers 1 to 20. Let's have a look what we have here. So again, we can ignore 1 because we know that 1 is not a prime. So we have 2 and 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17 and 19. So you might get asked that quite a lot at school. You know, write down all the prime numbers up to 20, and these are the numbers they're looking for. Okay, so as well as knowing prime numbers, they might want you to find prime factors. So in your exam, you might be asked to write a number as a product of its prime factors in index form. So here's an example question. Write 36 as a product of its prime factors in index form. Now, we're going to do another video on index form, but you'll understand it by watching this one, so don't worry. So what we're going to do is we're going to find all of the prime factors of 36, but we're going to do it using a factor tree. And it's quite easy. So we take our 36 and then we think, right, I need to make that as small as I can. So what can I divide that by? Now, if it's an even number, we know we can divide by 2. So I'm going to do 36 divided by 2. So 36 divided by 2 is 18. So 2 would go here in a white box because it's a prime number. And 18 will just go there. Now 2, I can't do anything else with that. That's already a prime. And luckily, I want my prime factors. So I'm just going to leave that as it is. And then I'm going to look at the 18. I'm going to do 18 divided by 2 now. So 18 divided by 2 is 9. So my 9 goes there, and my 2, again, is a prime factor, so that will go just there. Okay, so then my 9 is still not as small as it can go. However, this time, 9 divided by 2 won't work because 9 doesn't divide by 2 to give me a whole number. So instead, I can divide by 3. 3 is going to 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And again, 3 is a prime factor. Now what we have to do is we've got all our prime factors in the white boxes. I'm going to write them in a list. So 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 equals 36. So you'll be able to see 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, and 18 times 2 is 36. So that's why it equals 36. It does work out to equal 36. And we've found all of the prime factors and written them down like this. Now the last thing we need to do is write it in index form. An index form is where we have like to the power of 2 or to the power of 3 or to the power of 4. So I need to look, how many 2's do I have? I have 2 of them. So that gives me 2 to the power of 2. And then I also have 2 3's. So that gives me 3 to the power of 2. So I'd write it like this. 2 to the power of 2 times 3 to the power of 2 equals 36. This number represents how many of these there are. Okay? Alright, let's do another example. Write 80 as a product of its prime factors in index form. So we take our 80. Now 80 is quite easy. We can either divide by 2, giving us 40 and 2. But a really quick way to get rid of, to make that smaller is to divide by 10. Because this 80 ends in 0, I know that 10's go into it. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So I'm going to divide by 10. 8 times 10 makes 80. Now, none of those are prime factors yet, so I have to use both bubbles. So my 8, this time I am going to divide by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I have 4 there and 2 in the white bubble because 2 is a prime factor. If I look at my 10, Oh, sorry, no, we'll carry on with the 4 for now. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so I'm left with 2 and 2 at the bottom there. So don't forget our 10, that's not as small as it needs to be yet, so let's divide that by 2, giving us 2 and 5. And both of those are factors, prime factors, sorry. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 2's, so I'm going to write it like this, and 1 5. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 equals 80. Now just be careful when writing it in index form. How many 2's do I have? I have 4 and I only have 1 5. So that will give us 2 to the power of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, times 5. We don't put to the power of 1, we'll just leave that as it is. Okay? So what I'd like you to do now is pause the video and have a go at these questions and then press play for the answers. Feel free to go back through the video to have another look before you go on to doing this and just try your best. Okay, so let's look at the answers then. 24 would be written as 2 to the power of 3 times 3. 40 would be 2 to the power of 3 times 5. And 54 would be 2 times 3 to the power of 3. And as you can see, I've also written it like in numerical order, 2, 3, 2, 5, 2, 3, yeah? So it goes up 2, 3, 4, 5 in that order when you write it in index form as well. Okay. Well done, and thank you for using Cubitt Education. I'll see you next time. Please make sure you download the worksheets to go along with this lesson so that you can practice. Thank you very much. Bye.